welcome to another flip through video, another journal flip through. I will be doing other videos, but I'm kind of on a roll with this and I've got quite a few journals to share. So yeah, thought I'd share my next one, or actually my previous one. So this is my 2021. Yeah, what a year 2020 was, eh? So goodness knows what rambles I've got in here. One thing I will say before I start is there might be some pages in here that I'm not okay with sharing, and if it is pages that I'm not, if there are pages like that, what I'll do is when I edit, I'll block certain bits out. It won't be because there's anything about me. I'm kind of pretty much an open book. It's just if I've written personal things about, you know, other people, then obviously I'm not okay with sharing that. Yeah, so let's get started. So I'm trying to work out when I started this. I'm not sure if it was at the beginning of the year. I don't know. Haven't got any dates, but there you go. Let's just start. So I've put, hello, lovely new Hobo notebook. So trying a new journal setup. I think what I was doing was previously I'd had using the cousins. So I'd had my planning and my journaling in one. And this was a new system which I do much prefer, where I'm having my journaling and my planning completely separately, because to be honest, I'm much more of a journaler than a planner. My planning, it's separate. I don't have that pressure to make it pretty. It's pretty functional, really. This page here is using inks and some of the shimmery watercolours. I think that one looks like a copper, one of my metallics. Yeah, just splashy backgrounds, bit of washi. And I think what I did for this one was like reverse stenciling. I like doing that, where you put a stencil down and then you use a baby wipe to lift off some of the watercolour. Watercolour and inks, bit of silver pen, and then this was one of my own collage papers that I'd made on tomato river paper, printed on tomato river paper, so it's nice and thin, and then just pasted it in and added a bit of rainbow doodling and silver pen. Sometimes if I want to test out some of my colours that I'm making, some of my watercolours, I'll just grab my journal and test out the colours, and then either that becomes part of a spread or it doesn't, it just stays as it is. This was I can't remember, it was a journaling paper pack that I bought. I cannot remember who by. This was my own journaling paper, and then this was cut out from a magazine. Focus on where you live. A lot of my focuses are, or my goals rather, are my home environment and making it as lovely as I possibly can. This was another printout on tomato river paper with some watercolour around it, and I just added the silver pen. I'll link this pen below because I don't think it still works. I need to get another one, but I was obsessed. It literally is the best metallic pen that I have ever used. I think it's called Liquid Chrome, but I will definitely link it. It's beautiful. Just, yeah, I'm not very keen on that page. Just some magazine cutout, I think, some watercolours and some collage papers. I quite like that page. I like the composition sticker, and then mostly just watercolours and the silver pen. If you can see that catching the light, and then sort of little blobby design down the side. I think I like that because I like the combination of colour and arty bits, and then, you know, the writing. I just like the way it so I really do. I think I like this particular journal. I'm going to probably inspire myself now and want to go back to my new journal. Some watercolour circly blobs, and then just journaling over the top. I think probably that one I intended to carry on all the way out and didn't. But never mind. Just a bit of Christmas journaling. So this was Christmas, yeah, 29, and then obviously it goes into 2020. So some journaling about my son going to see Santa. Now the word for 2020 was family, and I've meant to journal all around here, the kind of focuses that I was going to have around that, but obviously I didn't. This was testing out some of my inks. Again on here. This was some journaling about my home. So I cut out some pictures from magazines that I kind of wanted to, well, I think it kind of expressed the style I wanted to go for. I wanted to kind of make my home more a reflection of me, so surround myself with art and creativity and objects that bring me joy. I mean, that my home is quite like that, but I wanted to, you know, really focus on that more. I mean, obviously 2020 was the year that we all stayed at home. Well, obviously not everybody. Some of us key workers, much love to you, were, you know, having to go out. But even though I work at home anyway, it was still really different for me because obviously I had, you know, I had my two children with me, and the choice, I guess, was removed of being able to, you know, move around freely. So little did I know at this time that my home would become everything. Here we go. March, and I've written fucking scary shit. So you can all guess what is happening now. Fall down, lockdown. My little COVID inspired doodles. Lovely. So I think a lot of this journal from there on is, yeah, probably me trying to make sense of what was going on in the world, not necessarily through words, because I think, you know, I found that it was so hard to put into words what was happening, but definitely I use my journal as therapy. I'm just loving that little copper, trying to catch the light, little copper splatters. Looks like I didn't come back and add colour to this. This was just some journaling about my boy and our routine. If you know me, then you'll know that my son has autism, and yeah, him not being at school was massive for all of us. And I was just trying to think about how I was going to structure our day to make it as smooth running for us all as possible. One day at a time. Yeah, I think that pretty much sums up what I was feeling. I like this background mixture of, what is it, like pigment powders, bits from old books and collage papers, and then I think I printed these on sticker paper and cut them out, and that was a photo of, I don't think it's one I took, but we were going for lots of walks for our day. We were making the most of our daily walk and getting out that way. And then some collage papers. These are my stickers. I really like using that style of date sticker. We've got some washi from one of my creative kits, and obviously journaling. Again, this has got a nice little sparkly sheen from some of my shimmer watercolours, and matte first and then going around and adding, I think the one's a little bit holographic there as well. I like that. I often resort back to, I think you can see sort of patterns in my mark making with spirals and circles and dots. Lockdown lessons. I think I was trying to think of some of the positives. Adding little sequiny bits. You can tell I had a bit more time on my hands in a way. You thought, oh, that's funny to say, because I had less time on my hands in a way because I had my son home full time. But I don't know. I think I just poured a lot of my time into my journals, and you know, when he was playing, I'd be sitting there with my journals doodling. this was, I did lots of watercolour, and then I used white gesso over the top to mask out some circles or blobs, and then some pastels, silver pen, pencil, and then I used quotes from my favourite poem called Desiderata. It's amazing if you haven't read it. It's I don't know, it's a real philosophy to live your life by, I think, and it's something that I turn to quite a lot in difficult times. Kind of really grounds me, and I think I really liked that, so I did another one, but this time I stuck down collage and then used the white gesso, and then while it was still wet I kind of went over with a black biro and then added the silver pen. Something a bit different for me, I think. Different kind of medium. Oh look, I was on a roll, wasn't I? So I did the same thing, but this time I didn't block out the colour background completely, or maybe I did and then I went over with other colours. Love these colours. I do love these colours. Pinks and browns and golds and coppers. Little sequins. And this was just a picture that I cut from a magazine. This was some jelly plate printing that I did, and I think it was on Tomorrow paper, and used it as collage paper. Here we go. This was my first experiment with my jelly plate. So this was the first ever print. I need to go back to my jelly print, my jelly plate rather. It's not something that I've used for ages. I think collage, making collage paper, yeah. And this was a lovely little note that I got from an online friend that I connected with. Thank you, Nilly, if you're looking at this, from Story Dory. She sent me this beautiful journal, and yeah, it was so nice for her to do. She also sent my daughter one. It was so lovely. Little doodle, a bit more pastel-y. Added some of, I think that might have been my either fairy dusters, which I'm going to be putting back in stock very soon, or my holographic watercolour. Just, yeah, journaling, date stamps, my go-to sploshy watercolour background. Similar thing, except I've used my inks to add like a kind of border, and then some copper washi. That was a print, I think, but I think it was a print from a stencil. I think I did it on one side and then did the mirror image, and then used coloured pencil. Obviously it hasn't printed on the whole of the image, but that's what I was kind of going for. I think this needed to come back to, it needed more colour and journaling and words, but obviously I didn't go back to that. This was using my inks. I will do a video of my inks, but what I like doing, I haven't got one to hand, is actually drawing with the dropper. No, I haven't got one. Drawing with the dropper, so very loose flower patterns, images. And then this was my inks, definitely with the copper. I can tell that's my copper watercolour. My date stickers. This was my Colour Me Happy watercolour set, made in collaboration with the lovely IRIT. I will link her because she's amazing. If you haven't checked out her YouTube, you must. She's so inspiring. And this was actually a washi tape made using her artwork. I think some of my artwork I can see, but mostly, yeah, her and my artwork. Again, using the kit. This is one of the journal cards from it. More lockdown journaling or date stickers. This was again from the Colour Me Happy. Just looking at the little shimmer there. And here we're in May. Made the first paint of my botanical moon set. So this was using, I really liked this colour. I think this, well, what's it called? Blue, I think it might be Blue Moon. It's really pretty. It's like a colour shift. Goes from sort of translucent rather, to a really beautiful iridescent blue. So I was using it to experiment with kind of galaxy inspired date page. More journaling, more lockdown journaling. So this was definitely using my pigment powders as a really simple background, and then copper splatters over the top, and then just journaled over on a date sticker. Really simple and easy way to get a background and you know, journal page with very little effort, but very effective. So really the focus here would have been on what I was saying, but you know, obviously, yes, really lovely background. Oh, I think it's a lovely background. More journaling. This was a collage paper, or printed on tissue paper, I think, or a collage paper that I'd made with some doodling over the top. And some more of the copper. I was very into copper. Sunday vibes. I like spirally things again. Journaling around the outside. And then we've got a tip-in that I made with alcohol inks on vellum. Some more journaling. Journaling with some collage around it and watercolour. Date sticker, but I've used my fairy dusters to give a sort of coppery rose gold outline. I think this marks the start of some sort of botanically organic-y theme that I was going through. Maybe it's because I was doing so many walks in nature. I was obviously very nature inspired. Yeah, so we've got, yeah, lots of, I went through a phase of doing watercolour blobs and then using either black or white pen mainly to doodle on top, either, yeah, sort of in the circle, and then also more sploshy watercolour background with doodling over the top. Using copper and silver. And more of the same, but some more oval blobs. Treated myself to some new arty stuff. Good for you. We all need that sometimes, don't we? Watercolour. Black pen, white pen. I like the kind of really non-neat rainbow. Oh, my lovely, beautiful mummy. Isn't she beautiful? This would have been, this was some journaling about her birthday. She would have been 75. Yeah, she passed away 17 years ago. So I was journaling to her. More sort of warm tones in this one. More of that doodling on the blobs. The kind of watercolour background, journaling, and then shimmery splatters or bits on the top. Pigment powder, journaling. This was a date stamp, my date stamp I think, with gold watercolour in the inside. Or would it have been gold pen? That looks like it would have been a pen. Yeah, I think it was gold gel pen. Tune. This is using a stencil as a background. It doesn't really look like a stencil, but I can tell because I've got that a stencil with that kind of mark making on it. Yeah, that's a gold gel pen on watercolour. Lily, stop! Lily! Black Lives Matter inspired spread. This was one of my pigment powders, the blue, I think it's called Calm Waters, with silver, you know, semicircles and journaling. Keeping with the blue theme, blue blobs and white and black pen. And then I was going through a phase of these. I've done a few, haven't I? I like the composition of those. Where's the other one? Where's it gone? So we've got one in. Can't find it now. Is it back here? Oh, there we go. So one in pinky tones, and then one in the blue tones, with, I think that was my pale gold metallic watercolour. This one I've added some collage elements. So this is Tomorrow River paper with pigment powders sprayed on it to make collage paper, and then used on the watercolour background. And then these were my fairy dusters. That one was the rose gold, adding a little bit of shimmery accent to it. More of the blobby, rainbowy, organic-y type thing. With some journaling. Mindful mandala type watercolour painting. I think this journal, obviously 2020 was a really difficult year. Well, obviously things are still difficult, but at the time it was really difficult for me, and a lot of my doodling is kind of mindful, repetitive doodling that's really therapeutic. Triangles. I haven't done that much of this kind of mark making in this journal, but I do like doing these triangle-y things. I'm trying to find a pen quickly, because this is actually, I can grab one, quite mindful. Just building the pattern up with little triangles. Testing out some colours. Friday. I was obviously planning on coming back and journaling over here, but I didn't. More journaling. Right. And that's it. I think I came to a bit of a, it says here, look, serious journal neglect. There's been so much going on. So I think I was getting really overwhelmed at this point, and instead of, you know, carrying on pouring myself into my journal, I got a real block, and I've got all these blank pages that I need to come back to. That's testing out one of my new ink sprays. So I wish this was all full up and I could show you a lovely full up journal, but yeah, it is what it is. But I hope you've enjoyed looking through the pages that I have done. It's inspired me, so I hope it's inspired you. It's inspired me to come back and finish this journal, do a new title page, because obviously we're in a you know, a different year, but that doesn't matter. And I think, yeah, I'm going to do that. So again, thanks for watching. Love to read your comments. They make my day when you comment. So thank you. Bye.